All right, so today we're going to dive into something I think a lot of people are going to find really interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to be exploring how to make someone think about you more.
Oh, this is a good one.
And of course, not in a creepy way or anything manipulative.
Right.
We're looking at this from the perspective of attraction and really like how to build a genuine connection.
Absolutely.
And we've got some source material that really kind of flips the script on traditional dating advice.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not just about, like trying to impress someone, with all the things that you do.
Right.
It's more about sparking their interest and making them want to invest in getting to know you.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you create that dynamic where someone is like, oh, I really want to get to know this person more.
Yeah. And one of the techniques that stood out to me from this material was this idea of encouraging her to invest in you.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's kind of like a collaborative thing where you're involving her in decisions. Like if you're planning a date or something like that, ask for her opinion.
Absolutely. I think that's a really important point because it's about shifting the dynamic from, like you said, one-sided,
right?
Where you're just trying to impress, to something that's more collaborative.
Right.
And when someone invests their time, their energy, even their thoughts, into something, they naturally value it more.
So instead of saying like, hey, I'm taking you to this, amazing restaurant.
Right.
It's more like, hey, what's something you'd love to do?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you in the mood for?
Yeah.
What would you really enjoy? And it makes them feel like they're an active participant.
Right.
In creating those positive memories.
And that they're valued, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So now we're getting into one that is maybe a little bit counterintuitive.
Okay.
And this is the idea that you shouldn't be available all the time.
Ooh. This is a tricky one.
Right. But
it's so important.
But we always, think like, oh, you got to be responsive. You got to be attentive.
Right. But think about it.
Right.
When something is constantly available, it loses its allure a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
So giving her space to miss you,
to
wonder what you're up to, can actually amplify her interest.
So it's almost like creating a little bit of healthy mystery.
Exactly. You don't have to respond to every text immediately.
Okay.
Take some time for yourself.
Right.
Focus on your hobbies, your pursuits.
Yeah.
It shows that you have a fulfilling life outside of the relationship.
And that you're not just like sitting by the phone waiting for her to text back.
Exactly. And honestly, it makes you more interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because you have other things going on.
So this next technique is about creating a deep impression that goes beyond that surface level chit chat.
Yes, this is so important.
So how do we do that?
Well, it's about moving past those superficial interactions and really connecting on an emotional level.
Yeah.
It's about making her feel seen, understood, and appreciated for who she truly is.
So it's not about, like doing all these big grand gestures.
Right.
It's more about those like smaller, meaningful moments.
Exactly. It's those small gestures that can really make a big impact. Remembering details about her life,
right.
Engaging in deep conversations, truly listening to what she has to say.
Right.
Those are the things that make a lasting impression.
Instead of just like, oh, you look nice tonight.
Oh, right. Exactly.
More about like noticing something specific.
Yeah, like, hey, I noticed you did this.
Yeah.
And I really admire that about you.
It shows that you're paying attention.
Exactly. It shows that you're present.
And that you care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, this next technique emphasizes breaking away from routine and keeping things interesting.
Oh, I love this one.
So we're talking about surprising her and avoiding predictability.
Yes, spontaneity is key here. It's about injecting a sense of excitement and unpredictability into the dynamic.
So instead of, like the same old dinner and a movie every time.
Okay, right. Exactly.
It's like think outside the box a little bit.
Yes, do something different. Something that she wouldn't expect.
Okay.
Maybe you surprise her with a small gift that relates to something she mentioned.
Yeah.
Or you plan a spontaneous outing that aligns with her interests.
So instead of just texting, like, hey, how was your day?
Right.
You say, hey, I'm thinking of grabbing takeout from that new Thai place you mentioned. Want to join me for an impromptu picnic in the park or something?
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's those unexpected gestures
right.
that break the monotony and show her that you're invested in creating memorable experiences together.
All right, this last technique that we're going to talk about today from our source material is a bit of a balancing act.
All right.
It's about being somewhat mysterious
Ooh.
without being completely closed off.
I like this one. This is good.
So what does that mean?
Well, honesty and openness are important
Of course.
in any relationship. But a little bit of mystery can go a long way in those early stages.
Okay.
It keeps her intrigued.
So are you saying, like, hold back from revealing everything about yourself right away?
Exactly.
Okay.
Instead of laying out your entire life story on the first date, share snippets.
Right.
Allow her to ask questions,
Yeah.
It creates a sense of discovery, and it makes you more memorable.
It's kind of like reading a good book.
Oh, I love that analogy.
You don't want to spoil the ending.
Exactly.
Right.
You want to keep them engaged. You want them to keep turning the pages to see what happens next.
Keep her wanting more.
Exactly. And it allows the relationship to unfold organically.
Yeah.
And keeps that initial spark alive.
This is really making me think about, how I approach dating. Because I think sometimes I fall into the trap of, like, trying too hard to impress
I think we all do.
instead of letting things develop naturally.
Yeah, it's a common trap.
Yeah.
But what's great about these techniques
Yeah.
is that they shift the focus away from trying to force a connection,
Right.
and instead they encourage a more organic and genuine dynamic.
It's about sparking her curiosity and allowing her to become an active participant in the process of getting to know you.
Exactly. And when you think about it,
Yeah.
isn't that what we all want?
Yeah.
To find someone who genuinely appreciates us for who we are and who's excited to uncover all the layers of our personality?
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so interesting, right?
Exactly. It's that journey of discovery.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to remind you that if you're looking for even more insights on building stronger connections, be sure to check out the Love Life Tips channel.
It's a fantastic resource
Yeah.
for anyone looking to deepen their understanding of relationships and create more fulfilling connections.
All right. So to kind of recap what we've learned today,
Yes.
it's all about making her think about you in a positive way. Encourage her participation. Give her space to miss you.
Yes.
Create a deep impression. Surprise her with spontaneity and be somewhat mysterious.
I love it.
It's not about playing games, but about creating a dynamic
Right.
where she becomes genuinely interested and invested in getting to know you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is being confident and letting your true personality shine through.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break,
Okay.
and we'll be right back with more insights on this topic.
Sounds good. And it really shows that you're paying attention, like you're really seeing her for who she is.
Those little things can mean so much.
Absolutely.
All right, so the next technique that we're going to talk about,
Okay.
this one emphasizes breaking away from routine and keeping things interesting.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Yeah, so it's about surprising her and avoiding predictability.
Yes, keep her on her toes a little bit, It's all about injecting that sense of excitement and the unpredictability,
So instead of the same old dinner and a movie routine,
Right, exactly. Get out of that rut.
it's like we got to think outside the box.
Think outside the box, come on.
Yeah.
Surprise her with something she's not expecting.
So give me an example.
All right, so let's say, she mentioned this new Thai place she wants to try.
Okay.
Boom, you sweep in, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting takeout from that new Thai place you mentioned.
Right.
Want to go on a little impromptu picnic in the park?
Oh, that's cute.
You see,
I like that.
instead of just being like, hey, how was your day?
Right. Which can get boring.
Exactly.
Especially if you do that every single day.
Come on now, step it up.
Right.
So it's those little unexpected gestures
Yeah.
that really make a difference. It shows her that you're putting in the effort.
And that you're listening.
Exactly. And you're creating those special moments,
Oh, yeah.
It's all about those memories.
Okay, so the last technique we're going to cover today,
Okay, hit me.
this one from our source material suggests being somewhat mysterious,
Mysterious.
but without being completely closed off.
I like to play it cool,
Okay.
little bit of mystery can go a long way.
So how do we do this? What's the balance here?
Well, honesty and openness are important
Of course.
in any relationship,
Right.
but you don't have to reveal everything about yourself right away,
Yeah.
So
So don't lay your whole life story out on the first date.
exactly, hold back a little bit,
Okay.
Share snippets,
Right.
let her ask questions,
Keep some things to yourself.
let her uncover those different layers,
Yeah.
over time.
It's kind of like a good book, You don't want to give away the ending on the first page.
I love that that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Keep them turning the pages,
Yeah.
keep her guessing.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up there for this part of the deep dive. But don't worry, we've got a lot more to discuss.
Looking forward to it.
So we've been talking about all these different techniques.
Yeah.
Like how to make her think about you.
Yeah.
But I think there's like one really important element that we need to touch on, and that's confidence.
Oh, absolutely. I think confidence is huge. It plays such a big role in how we see ourselves and how other people see us.
Yeah. And, there's that saying like confidence is the sexiest thing you can wear.
It's so true.
But what does that actually mean, when we're talking about like building a connection with someone?
Well, I think true confidence comes from, like a place of self-acceptance.
Yeah.
And knowing your worth. It's about believing in yourself and your value and not being afraid to let that shine through.
So it's not about being arrogant or like bragging about all the things that you've done.
No, it's not about that at all.
It's more about just like being comfortable with who you are.
Exactly. It's about owning your strengths.
Yeah.
And not being afraid to show your vulnerabilities.
Yeah. And I think that ties back to some of the techniques that we were talking about earlier, like not being available all the time.
Absolutely.
Being a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. When you're confident, you're not constantly seeking approval or attention from others.
Right.
You're not afraid to pursue your own interests, your passions, and that actually makes you more interesting to be around.
It shows that you have a life,
yeah,
outside of just trying to, get a date with this person.
Right. You're living a fulfilling life that you're excited about.
Right.
And you're inviting her to be a part of that.
Yeah, you're not making her the center of your universe.
Exactly. And that confidence is contagious,
Yeah.
When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too.
So how can someone actually like work on building that kind of confidence?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's easier said than done for a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely takes time and effort. It's a process.
Right.
But I think a good place to start is by focusing on your strengths and accomplishments. Celebrate those wins, big or small.
Yeah.
Remind yourself of what you bring to the table.
And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Try new things.
Yes.
Put yourself out there.
Because every experience, whether it's a success or a learning opportunity, it all contributes to your growth,
It does, yeah. And it helps you build that confidence.
Exactly. Confidence is a journey, not a destination.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered so much ground.
It has. We've talked about creating a dynamic that sparks genuine interest and intrigue.
And it's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about being authentic,
Absolutely.
investing in the connection, and creating those experiences that make you stand out.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And if you're looking for more tips on how to navigate the world of relationships, be sure to check out the Love Life Tips channel.
Yes, it's an amazing resource for anyone who wants to learn more about creating those healthy and lasting relationships.
All right, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.